1001 Nights, Palace, golden columns, thick carpets. Everything was perfect, but there was something in the air. Weight. An invisible but pressing weight. The king sat on the throne. His eyes were cold, but this coldness was not innate. This was the freezing of a wounded soul. He saw his wife, and in that moment, it was all over. Betrayal. A moment. But this moment shattered his whole life. He didn't laugh. He didn't cry. He just decided. Women are unreliable. From that day on, every night, marriage, every morning, death. Blood became a regular thing in the palace. One day, it was the turn of the girl who would tell the story. The girl who chose death in Shahrazada. She was different from the others. She was not afraid. No, this is wrong. She was afraid, but she did not stop. She looked at her father. I will marry the king. The room fell silent. The decision was tantamount to suicide. Her father trembled. This is death, Shahrazada answered. No, this is an opportunity. She knew. This is not an ordinary marriage. This is a contract with death. But she had one thing in her hand. Not a sword, not a power. Story. She was brought before the king, and the morning was to be her last morning. The first night. The palace is silent. Candles flicker on the wall. Shadows move. Shahryar and Shahrazada. Two people. Two worlds. Shahryar, lost face. Shahryar, the last hope. They are side by side. But in the meantime, death. Dawn is approaching. This means her life is ending. Then Shahryar began to speak. Shahim, can I tell you a story? This was not a simple statement. This was strategy. Shahryar was interested. This was the first mistake. Shahryar began. The voice is quiet, but there is power in it. The story deepened. Time passed. Dawn approached. And right at the most interesting point, he stopped. Silence. Shahryar looked. What happened next? Shahryar in a low voice. If I survive, I will tell you tomorrow. It was a game, but a very dangerous game, the poet thought. And for the first time, he didn't kill. He won one night in Shahrazada, but there were 1000 nights ahead. The most important thing, Shahrazada is not telling a fairy tale. He is controlling death. If you're ready, let's move on to the next stage. Continue. Make the stories as dramatic as possible by connecting them together. Then I will write the next chapters more seriously and at the level of a movie. Continue. Okay. Now the story deepens. From here on, this is not a simple fairy tale. Psychological trap built from the inside out. Shahrazada is no longer just surviving. He is rewriting the king's mind. A story within a story. Night has fallen again. The palace walls are silent again. The candles flicker again and again. Death awaits. The Shahryar is different this time. He is waiting. The story. This is a dangerous sign because he no longer wants to kill. He wants to know. Shahrazad continued. There was a merchant, the street, dust, hot wine. The merchant is working. Suddenly, he collides with a demon. The demon is huge. His eyes are burning. His voice shakes the earth. You killed my son! The merchant trembled. I did it without knowing. The genie laughed. Cold. You will die anyway. The poet leaned forward. His eyes were alive. This is no longer a story. This is a question of judgment and justice. The merchant said, Give me time. The genie thought. And again. Queen stopped again. At the most interesting place. Time is the greatest value. Dawn is near. Again. The poet got angry. What happened next? The queen was gone. If I survive, the same game again. But this time, the poet hesitated. If I kill, the story ends. If I live, I know. He chose interest. Shahrazada lived again, but that's not the important thing. The important thing, the king's decision is changing. He no longer lives to kill, to wait. Shahrazada thought to herself, I found his weak spot. Mind control. Night. Again. This time, Shahrazada began a different story. The sea, waves, ship, Sinbad. He sets off on a journey in search of wealth. But what he finds? Fear, loneliness, the struggle for survival. Every time he may die, but he lives. How? With wise decisions, with patience, using time wisely. Shahrazada listens deeply. This story touches him because he too has lost. He too alone. But there is a difference. Sinbad fights to live, and Shahryar lives to destroy. This contradiction is an internal shock. For the first time, doubt arises in Shahryar, the breaking king. Days pass. Yesterday, again yesterday. Every night is a new story. Every story is a new question. Shahryar is no longer the same. He shouts less. He sings more. This is dangerous because this is the beginning of change. One night he stopped. Why are you telling these stories? He looked at Shahryar, and for the first time he came close to telling the truth. To change you, the room froze. This is a death sentence. Shahryar didn't answer, but something inside him broke, closing to the truth. Night again. This time, the story is more serious. Betrayal. But this time, by a man. The woman is deceived. Shahryar freezes. This is his world. So, not just women? This thought is a bomb. His whole theory starts off well. Shahrazad continues. Slowly, clearly. He shows her. The problem is not in gender, in people. Shahryar is silent. The silence is an internal battle. For the first time, he doubts his decision. Near 1001 nights. Time passes. Hundreds of nights. Shahryar is still alive. This is not a miracle. This is a strategy. Shahryar is different now. He waits for stories. He listens. He feels. And most importantly, he doesn't kill. One night, he looked. If I had killed you at the beginning, he didn't finish. Because he understood. He was wrong. Shahrizada is approaching the last story. Final. The word has been solved. Morning. 1001st night. Shahrizada is silent. This time there is no story. Shahryar waits. Why aren't you talking? Shahrazada looked at her and said, there is no need for a story anymore. Silence. Why? Because you have changed. These words are a blow. Shahryar took a breath deeply. He remembered the women he killed, his lost trust, the nights gone by, and for the first time, he regretted it. He said, you have defeated me. No, this is wrong. The swords did not defeat him. The power did not defeat him. The story defeated him. The consciousness learned in blood. Night. The palace is silent again, but the silence is not usual. This is a learned silence. The Shahryar sits alone, not wine in his hand, not even a sword in his hand. In his hand are memories. He remembers one face, another face, another face. Women killed every morning. Their eyes, their last glances. They were all silent. The Shahryar whispered, I was right, but there was no confidence in his voice. This was the first crack. He grabbed his head. What if I am not right? The question was poison. Shahriza felt this crack and decided to widen it. Guilty is a slow poison. Tonight is different. Shahrizada doesn't start a story. She asks a question. My king, what if you made a mistake? The room froze. This sentence is death. Shahryar narrowed his eyes. I don't make mistakes. But this time, there was no determination in his voice. Shahrizada continued. He didn't tell a story. He reflected. There was a king. He also saw betrayal. Shahryar froze. And he also punished everyone. What did he find in the end? Shahryar answered from within. Nothing. But he didn't say it. This time, the story didn't end. It continued inside the king. Breaking point. Night. Shahryar is no longer a listener. He is a suspect. He is examining himself. Am I right or am I just heard? This question consumes him. This time, Shahrizada struck. My king, you didn't punish them. He stopped. You're punishing yourself. This sentence hit him straight in the heart. Shahryar trembled because it was true. Every death was a continuation of the pain inside him. Shahryar came close to crying for the first time. Internal fall. Night. This time there's no story. Shahryar spoke. I loved him. This is not a simple statement. This is a confession. He broke me. His voice is breaking. I punished everyone because I couldn't punish him. Shahrizada was silent. This was the strongest point. Listen. Shahryar continued. I am the king, but since that day, I am not. The room was heavy. This was the center of his spiritual collapse. Now the question is, will he recover or will he be completely destroyed? The real enemy. Shahrizada said slowly, your enemy is not women. She paused. Your enemy is fear. This sentence was a sentence. Shahryar closed his eyes. And finally, he saw his words, blood, death. But behind all this, there was one thing. Shahryar felt guilty for the first time. Decision. The morning is near. This time, no one speaks. Shahryar stands. He looks at the sword. He has lived with this sword for a very long time. Now, he puts it down. This is the biggest turning point. Enough. This one word can stop 1,000 deaths. But the question remains, isn't it too late? The unforgivable thing. The day has come. The palace is the same, but everything has changed. Shahryar is alive, but he is different now. He remembers and understands. Not everything can be taken back. This is a real punishment. Some victories harder than defeats. The final is not a story, it is a judgment. Shahryar looks at the sword. This time he is not telling a story because it is no longer necessary. Shahryar said, you saved me. No. Shahrazada did not answer, because she knows. She only held the mirror. Shahryar saw himself, and through this, he changed. Don't forget to like and share with your loved ones to support our channel.